Hi guys, welcome to API webinar. Let's wait for 1 minute and let's start. Can you guys hear me? Good, let's get started. So, in this webinar, I'll be discussing about what is API and what is JSON and how API helps us in communicating between websites and apps to database. And we'll be also discussing about making a small project from scratch, that is to do REST API. Okay, and then we'll be discussing how can we deploy our API, and finally we'll be dealing with finally at the end I'll be discussing all your doubts. Okay, let's get started. Before that, I want to convey you something. This webinar is not just for backend developer, not just for Django backend developer especially. So it's for everyone. So in this webinar, I'll be discussing about the backend logic rather than coding in backend. Coding the backend. Okay. So this sets apart. Since we are deploying this particular application on Heroku, we need to have a GitHub repo. For that, I'm just gonna go to my GitHub. So this is my GitHub. I'm gonna create a new repo. Some network lag. Yeah. So my repo name is Django. Sorry. To-do list API. Cool. And now the public repo lies with the readme, and since this I'm using Django to demonstrate this, so it is built on Python, so I'll add a git ignore of Python and licenses. So let's create it. I'm just gonna copy this, go to my VS Code. So first terminal, new terminal, and here I'm gonna type git space clone. I'm not sure if it is visible. I'm just gonna increase my speed. I hope now it is visible. Git clone space listed to-do list API. Cloning it. Cool. Now it is cloned. Are you guys able to hear me properly? I just want to check. Okay, I guess you guys can hear me. I'm just gonna proceed with this. Is my voice perfectly audible, or else I'll just increase a bit? Fine. Now I'm gonna type cd to-do list API. Change directly to-do list API. Now what I do is I need to create a project, Django project. So how do I do that? Just type Django. Okay, before creating, few of you may not have Django installed onto your PC. So type pip reinstall Django. And pip is a Python package installer. So it installs your libraries, whatever available on Python. Okay, now since I already have Django, it shows requirement already satisfied. Okay, now I'm just gonna type Django-admin start project. My project name is backend. So what happens in Django specifically, it bifurcates your whole code into parts. Something like, if you have okay, we'll take this as an example. We are making a to-do list API. In this example, what happens is, the whole project can be bifurcated into two parts. One is authorization and one is getting to-do list of your own list. Suppose if there are two people like Akshat and Kunal, Akshat won't have the same list as Kunal, so you need to have the authorization which will validate him. Okay, which will validate him, and once he logs in, you need to get his own list. Suppose Akshat has one list of doing front end with Bootstrap and resting for some time completing his internship work. Kunal will be doing front end with React, okay, chilling for some time, creating memes, etc. So something like that. Everyone has a different list. So to do that, you need to have an authorization. And how can you bifurcate this particular project into parts? I can see one part. One is authorization, one is this thing. So these two parts are known as apps. APPS, apps. So what you do is, I'm just gonna create a app. Now start app, your app name, authorization. It's too long. I'm just gonna type accounts better. Okay, and I'll just show you that folder in some time. And now accounts is done, and now I need one more app, right? That is API wala. So to-do list. Okay, and now both the apps are created. If you want to see each app, okay, the color, this dark blue color represents, ls is list directory, dark blue color represents the folders, and white color represent files. Okay, there's something like accounts, that is one of our app. Backend is our project. Okay, there's some license and readme which automatically got generated by GitHub whenever before clone. I created a license and readme in GitHub, so those two files. And there's something like to-do list. To-do list is also one of our app. Okay, before moving forward, I need to do some modifications in the file structure to make it easy to deploy. So for that, I'm just gonna open folder to-do list API, and okay. Let me just confirm that you're able to see. Yeah, you're able to see this. I hope you are able to see this. I'm just gonna reduce a bit. Okay, now here you can see accounts. Accounts is our app. Backend has one more folder named backend and manage.py. Now just do one thing, just rename to something. Okay, and just pull this outside, pull these two files outside, and delete this folder. This is an empty folder now because I pulled everything outside, and delete this folder. And that's it, you're done doing the basic changes. So first, now, since we are working on Django, I need to specify the architecture and the backend logic of Django. This will help you to understand this in a better way. Okay, I hope now you are able to see this. So now in the whole architecture of Django is MVT architecture, model view template. Okay, now in database there's in your project or backend there's something like database. Okay, this stores data. Okay, database stores data. Cool. Now what happens is, now whatever, if you want to store, now for example, if you want to store your username password, we need to store it in a database. Now what we do is, okay, I'm just gonna explain few terms. Database stores data. Okay, there's something like views. Okay, views will store your business logic. Views will store your business logic. So what is that logic? We'll see it in some, we'll look about it in some time. Okay, and there's like templates, model. Okay, I'm just gonna write this also here. Model view template. Okay, now what happens is, template is nothing but your response, whatever you got from your views, whatever you got from your logic, there's nothing but response. And now, what is API? Question mark. API, there's so many definitions for API, but I'll explain you as with an example. Now you have a website, okay, which needs to store data. Okay, fine. There's a now in our example, to-do list API, to-do list. Okay, there's a website which has to-do list, which allows you to create a to-do list and modifies it, and you'll be able to do all that stuff in that website. But see, since I told you need to store the data, your task, you need to store the task, whatever task you gave, and whether it is completed or not, when is it created, all this stuff. Okay, do you want to sit and write SQL commands in front end? Obviously no. Okay, by the way, SQL is a language which allows you to speak with your database. Do you want to sit and do that? No, obviously not. No one will expect you to write a SQL command in front end, obviously. Okay, so what API does is, it acts as a delivery guy. So what it does is, this is your website, okay, and this is your app. This is your backend, okay, which is connected to database. Okay, I'll make it in one. Okay, now this is your website or app, okay, and this is your backend. And now if you create an account, let's assume you're creating an account in website or app. So what it does is, you create an endpoint in your backend, expose your part, something like, so you want to create an account, you'll ask your backend, this is my data, whatever I'm having, this is username, this is the guy username, suppose Akshat. Akshat is creating an account, so what is his username? Suppose it is Akshat-VG, and his password is QWERTY, okay, and his email something, few other terms, okay, X, Y, Z. You took all this data, and you're gonna tell your website gonna tell your backend, this is my data, okay, now create an account for him. So what you're basically doing, you're just sending the data from website to backend. Now what does it do? It creates an account and it So I'm sorry. Okay, it creates account, it gives a response back to app, and now you guys can get it out. What is API now? Understood the example. What is API? The one who is doing the delivery job, that is sending the data from website or app to backend and getting the response back. This is API. This gap, okay, there's a gap between these two. This is not, there won't be any gap between backend and database. There will be a gap between these two. Okay, this is covered by API. This is API, application programming interface. Okay, I hope you got it. Let me just check out chat session if you have any other doubts. One sec. Let chat session. Yes, we can hear you. What is an API? Is the backend going to be converted into an API? Not exactly. You are just exposing few a function or handler. I mean, I'll explain you in some time. But for now, just think in this way. You have a data. You're sending it to backend. Backend will process the data via your business logic. If you ask your backend to create an account, okay, it will create an account. If you want, okay, I'll explain you in a better example. Okay. One second. So you are in a restaurant. Ignore my spellings, please. Okay, you're in a restaurant. You have a menu card. Okay, menu card. So you have something like idli, vada, etc. And now kitchen. Okay, so kitchen is basically where your food is made, right? So now restaurant, you are sitting here. This is you hyphen. Okay, now there's a waiter who takes the order from you, asks kitchen guy, the one who, kitchen is nothing, your backend. So this is your front end. So what is happening? You're asking your I mean, the waiter will take the order. He will go to kitchen. He'll ask him to make, and he'll get the vada or idli, whatever you ordered, and he returns back, and he gives it to you. Got it? And the waiter is known as a, in our case, in the same way, this menu and you are nothing but website, and the backend and database is nothing but kitchen. And here this is API, the gap which is filling, and here it is waiter. Okay, I hope I cleared your doubt, Akshat. Okay, if you have any other doubts, just post it in that comment section, and let's get started. So now we learned about API. Coming back, we left in between model, view, template. So what happens is, now you have a data, okay, from user. You got a data from user. You have a data from user. Now you need to create an account. Create an account. So there's a URL for that which you make. Okay, now what happens is, when you call that particular URL, okay, that will go to settings.py. Okay, here you can see settings.py, settings.py to urls.py. From settings.py, it will go to urls.py. Sorry, I'm so sorry. urls.py, and from urls.py, okay, it will go to views. Where are views? It is in our app. In our app, there's something like views.py. So it will go to that. In that, you write your business logic. Business logic, whatever logic you want to implement. It may be business, it may be something else. It's just a logic. Let me put it like a logic. Okay, now you write your logic. So now your logic, your views will communicate with database and gets required data. And so view communicating with database. Okay, and now it gets reply, and now it replies back using response. That is, it replies back. In our case, it is API. It replies to it just sends the JSON. What is JSON? 1 minute. I'll speak about that in 1 minute. Okay, and JSON. Okay, and this is JSON is nothing but response, that is template, and views is nothing but your logic. Okay, and database, okay, there's a typo. Database stores data. Okay, so view, and this is known as model and template. Model, view, template. Okay, view will be bifurcated, will be speaking with template and database. Database say it will get the data, and from this it will give it to response. So model, view, template, MVT architecture. Got it? Okay. Now let's, I just said JSON. What is JSON again? Too many terms to know, right? Yeah, this is one of the very important concept. Okay, JSON is nothing but JavaScript object notation. JavaScript object notation. It's a lightweight format of storing and transporting data. See, I said API is a transporter which transports which gets the data from a website or app, delivers it to backend, and gets the response and delivers it back to app. Got it? Okay. Now, how will you send the data? That's the point. I said I'll send the data, but I didn't exactly say in which format. That format is known as JSON format now. JSON is a lightweight format of storing and transporting data. So usually people use JSON data format for all the data transportation, and if it is a file, then we use something that is form data. Okay, now let's see. Now we have name over here. Okay, I'm just gonna say I'm just gonna explain some basic examples in JSON. Okay, name. Okay, before this, you need to know what is these two. Okay, this is a list of data. Okay, this is a list, and this is a dictionary, or else object. You can call it either way. This is an object or dictionary. This is a list. Remember these two. Okay, so dictionary, list. So here there's something like name. Okay, your name will be something like, for suppose, Kunal. Okay, and Kunal username, it will be Kunal Singh. There shouldn't be any gap. So let's suppose it is Kunal. It doesn't matter. Okay, now this is one of the, how do I say this? Wait, I'll explain you in something like this. This is a name. Okay, this is a name, and this is the value associated to it, and you separate it by commas. Curly braces holds object. This is object. This is dictionary. This is also known as objects. Okay, this holds objects. This is known as object or else dictionary. Okay, now what happens is, now this is one JSON example. You can name it as ABC. Also this. Okay, now there's one more JSON object, CDE, that is. Okay, now in this object you have username. Okay, and let's take it username as Shreya. Okay, and now you have a list, to-do list, and now to-do list is not here. Over here Kunal is just one word. Okay, here we have list of tasks. Okay, to-do list is basically a list of tasks according to her. First, her list will be wake up. Okay, then bath, eat, code, sleep. Okay, over here you just have one thing, that is one word, Kunal. Over here you have set of words, list of words. Okay, list of words. Did you get my point? List of words. Now this is a object, to-do list object of Shreya. Suppose there's one more list, it's a list of objects now. Okay, now this is one object separated by comma and the username is Akshat. Okay, let's interchange one thing. So just type. Okay, so he'll wake up, bath, code, then eat, then sleep. Okay, you got it? So this is a list of objects, this is a list of words. Okay, this is a JSON. This is known as a nested JSON. I hope I made things clear. I'll try to explain everything with examples. If you have any doubt, feel free to put it in comment section. I'll just check the doubts now. Why is JSON lightweight? How do I say this? Why is JSON lightweight? It's to be true, I can't explain this webinar. Just ping me in private, I'll explain you, because we'll be deviating on the whole. We'll be deviating our whole webinar now if I explain about this. Okay, and now let's move forward. Now we know about JSON, we know about, okay, let's just rewind what we got. This is a Django architecture model view template. Why would we call that? Views will communicate with views and views will call database. Database will call, views will also respond to template. So model, view, template. And why is database known as models? Whatever, if you want to make a table in database, we'll make it in to-do list models.py. So it is known as model. Okay, model, view, template, MVT. Okay, and we saw how the data processor data communicates. Settings.py say urls.py say views, logic, and database and JSON. Okay, and API, what is API? We saw how is it communicated, and then restaurant wala example we saw. And JSON, this is a list, this is a dictionary or object, whatever you want to call, both works. This is an object. Okay, but I would prefer to call it as an object. Okay? Remember, it's a technical term. Okay, and this is a list of words. Okay, and this is a username. It's a name value pair. Okay, and then finally we made a list of objects. There's a list of words, there's a list of objects. Okay, now let's proceed a bit further. We saw about ORM, we saw about architecture. Now there's one more concept in database, that is ORM, object relational mapping. What is object relational mapping? What does it do? What does it specify? It's nothing but, okay, as I said you before, we have SQL to write or read from database. To communicate with database, we have SQL. And as I said before, front-end developer doesn't write SQL in front-end. We write it in back-end. Not exactly, we're not even writing SQL. we have something like object lazy to type uh, object relational mapper. To be specific, it is Django object relational mapper. What does it do? It converts your Python code into SQL. It gets the data from SQL. It gets the data from database specifically, and it returns back in a query dictionary. Okay, it's a type. Okay, like int, string, and all. It's a type query dictionary, and now we need to send this query dictionary. I mean, apply our logic, whatever we want to apply, or else send the list directly to the user, that is website or app. Okay, and what is object relational? Okay, what is database specifically? Okay, this is a table which has username, username, name, for example. Okay, and this is table 1. Okay, and here you store this is a table, and if I'm not wrong, these are column names. Okay, and these are known as this is a row. Now you store your content, that is, I mean, you store your data in each row. Okay, now here Akshat, we name Akshat something. Okay, so this is a row, and now we have one more row named Kunal. Okay, kitchen Kunal, okay, anything. So this is one query dictionary. Okay, query object, this is one object. Okay, and you store the data in every single row of the table. Okay, if you want to add the data, you add it over here, append it to the next row. You have one more user Shreya, then you'll add it over here, or else one more user Nishi, you will add it in the next row, so on continues. Okay, and you have, this is table 1. We have one more table 2, and so on, table n. Okay, and the place where you store, or the set of all these tables, is database. So database has all these tables. Who will create the table? Either Django or you. Okay, how do you create? By writing SQL? No, by writing Python classes. We'll discuss that in some time. Let's move forward. Okay, we are done with theory. Let's name it some theory dot txt. Okay, and let's move forward. Cool. And now I'm pretty sure by now, I mean, yeah, one more theory concept left. Sorry. Virtual Env. This is specific to Python only. So, okay. First, suppose I am a Python package developer. Okay, Python package developer. That means I develop libraries. Okay, for your convenience, I'm just making it easy for you. Okay, libraries. Okay, now I have one version 1.0.0 out. Okay, in that there's a function named def main. Instead of main, I made maina. Okay, and I published it. It's a typo. Okay, and afterwards after a few days I realized that, and in 2.0 I added few more functionality and named it main again. So in version 2.0 I renamed maina to main. So now what happens is, okay, this is my story, and now coming to your story. You have project A, PRJA, and you have PRJB, and this library name is XYZ or else CC. Let's assume CC. And now project A is built on CC version 1. Afterwards, project B is built on version CC 2.0, 2.0.0. Okay, and this is 1.0.0. Okay, I ruined it. Never mind. Okay, so project A is version 1.0.0 and project B is 2.0.0 because I added few functionalities, so you want to migrate it to 2.0.0. And now what happens is, after few days everything is perfect, this is going very well, and afterwards you realize you want to test your project A again. You need to make some modifications like how I did it over here. And now what happens is, you try running your project A. Will it work? Will it work? Question mark. No, because when you try running that, okay, it will show there's no function name maina. That is this, because I modified it, because your PC has version 2.0.0 installed. Okay, so how do you solve this? What if I say there's a Python environment for all this? All your libraries is installed in this project, and separately for this project, and one more environment, Python environment for this project. Sounds really cool, right? That is what this Virtual Env does. It creates an environment for your own project. Over here we are going to create an environment. Okay, so for that, let's install that first. pip3 install virtual env. That's it. Virtual env, and it shows requirement already satisfied. Now to create a virtual env, type virtual env virtual env space your environment name. I am naming it env. I would request you to name it like that, env or venv. That is global. I mean, everyone uses in the same format, so I would recommend you to use that. And now what you're doing, so now the virtual env is created. Just give me like 10 seconds, it will automatically create. You can see a environment folder over here. Okay, it has some bin include lib, okay, and some structure, but I can see environment got created. I'll just go to new tab and continue. Source. Okay, fine. Now you have your env created. Now you need to activate the environment. Okay, you need to activate the environment. For doing that, source env bin activate. This is for Linux and Mac users and such file. Okay, that's all. Let me check. Source env bin activate. Okay, might be a okay, now it should work. Okay, it was not created before, it just got created. Now it's working. Okay, by the way, you can create a new terminal over here. Cool, and this is why I love VS Code. Okay, so now env is created. Now you need to install all the packages again. So for that, I'll install what we basically need is Django. So I'll just install pip3 install Django, and it shows successfully installed. Okay, and now we are in virtual env. Cool, let's close this. Okay, and first of all, we have a project ready with an app ready, and we have an environment ready. Okay, there's one more thing missing, very important thing: super user. So for that, just type I need to activate the environment again. Okay, I'll just go to the previous terminal. So for that, environment is active. So before this, you need to run python 3 install, python 3 manage.py migrate. What does this do? Wait, leave this for some time. I'll deal about this for in some time. For now, just forget this. Okay, we are just creating a super user. Create super user. So super user is nothing but admin. He can see all the data, whatever is in the database, and enter your username, password, and optional to have email ID, and to run your Python program, your project, run server. Okay, python 3 manage.py run server. It shows started development server at this URL, blah blah blah. Katam. Your project is working now. So super user is nothing but a user, a admin user who can have access to admin portal. What is admin portal? A place where you can see all your data, which is automatically created by Django, and it's very unique in Django. Okay, fine. Now, okay, for this particular webinar, we are using Django REST framework. Okay, it helps us making a REST APIs. So for that, I need to install that. Pip 3 install Django REST framework, and one sec, this work lab. Yeah, fine. It got installed. Okay, and now we have all the libraries whatever required for now installed. So what you do is, so REST API REST framework is installed. You need to configure your REST framework. So for that, just go to settings.py. Okay, I'm just gonna minimize this. Okay, so in installed apps, there's something like installed apps. I don't think I have enough time to discuss about all these terms. If you can find it out in internet. If you can't, then you can ping me up. I'll give you my email ID at last. You can ping me up on, you can mail me, and I'll be helpful to you. I'd be glad to help you out. So you just type rest_framework. Okay, and that's it. And once you do this, your REST framework is directly configured. You're done with configuring REST framework. Now, to handle authentication, I have a library for you. It's very good. Okay, I'm just gonna see if there are any doubts. For now, nothing. Okay. So I'll be heading on to. So okay, fine. Now I came to my internet Chrome, Google Chrome. Just type Djoser. Okay. Okay, let's go to the main page. Okay. So Djoser is a library to handle authentication easily. Okay. For this session, we are using token-based authentication, the well-known authentication system. So introduction, we don't need everything, all this. Getting started, not this. Settings, yeah. Wait. So sorry. Let me check. Okay. Yeah, authentication backends. In that token-based authentication, we configured REST framework. We need to configure Djoser also in the same Okay, just copy these two lines. I hope you can see. If not, I'm just gonna increase my size. Copy these two. Okay, and paste it over here. Okay, and you need to configure all your apps, whatever you made. Here, over here, we made accounts. Caps lock. Make sure the spelling is correct. ACCOUNTS. Yeah, there shouldn't be any type. There shouldn't be any typos, and this will be to-do list. Okay, we have two apps. We installed two apps: REST framework called token, and Djoser. Now coming back. Okay, it shows configure URLs, so you're just gonna copy these two lines again. Okay, there's one more thing in settings, so we'll just do this and do that. Cool. We'll copy this line and just paste it anywhere, but okay, it is pasted. New line, remove this line. Okay, and you're done with this. Now just copy this. Okay, before copying this, there's one more thing to explain. Backend. In backend main, this is our project name. In that, there's something like URL, which you say root URL configuration. I said settings.py to it goes to urls.py, so it is backend.urls. Okay, and backend is your folder name, that is this, and .urls. .urls is this file. Okay, and now we have something like this. So now what I do is, to be more clean, to write a clean code, I'm just gonna create a urls.py in every app. Okay, I created, so just copy these lines. Okay, just copy all these lines. Okay, and paste it over here and remove this line, and that's it. You do the same thing for one more okay, so you do the same thing for one more app as well, that is to-do list. Create a new file, urls.py. okay, and paste it over here, and with this you made a urls.py in all your apps. Now what you do is go to your project URL configuration, import include from Django.urls. So from Django.urls import path comma include, and now what you say is path auth whatever. You can put anything, literally your name, or you can put your name as well. I'll just put, to be more professional, I'm gonna type API / auth comma include. Okay, your app name account dot urls. So account is a folder name over here. Accounts dot urls. Okay, and in the same way you need to do for API for this thing as well, what we'll call to do. Okay, API to do include to-do list dot urls. All good. Now we configured URLs with every app. Now just go to your accounts. Okay, now paste copy this and paste this and remove all this shit. This is not required, we don't need this. We'll tell Djoser / Twitter looks from Djoser because it is coming from Djoser library, and just convert this to path the same way, this one also to path. Okay, and that's it, you are done. Okay, you need to import include as well. Okay, the same way from Django.urls import path comma include. And what if I say you completed your authentication system, that is user create, user login, and so many. You wanna know what you covered till now? I'm just gonna show you that. Okay, you covered all these, that is, I'll just gonna zoom out a bit. So base endpoints. इसमें you covered user create, you covered user activate, you covered user resend activation mail, you covered what is the URL to check what is your user, to modify user, everything. This is really cool. You did like 2 minutes job and you completed everything, right? Okay, so right now over here we're just going to focus on creating a user and logging in. Others other URLs you can get it from here. Now it shows default URL /users / and you guys can get it out. What all these URLs, what am I doing? I'm not understanding anything. Okay, let's make it more specific. Okay, let's go to theory again. Theory.txt last line. Okay, URLs. Oh, okay, now what are URLs? So in settings.py, as I said before, settings.py say it will go to urls.py. okay, from here it will go to what we'll call that app URLs. Okay, and now what are these URLs? There's a code. Okay, you have so much code in your application. So this is a function to login. Let's assume there's a handler to execute login and sign out, sign up, etc. Okay, and you need to specify exactly which part of the code to run. Okay, you can't execute sign out and sign up route. Okay, basically if you just go to this thing, you have something like URL. For suppose just gonna type YouTube. Okay, and it shows verify phone, watch, okay, activate. This is a URL, right? In the same way, for sign up we have a URL, for sign out we have a URL, for login we have a URL. We need to do some business logic, we have a URL. If we need to do something else, we have a URL for that. You just write the code and configure the URL for that particular route. We call it routes. Okay, ROUTES. Okay, and now what is let's assume configured a URL. Okay, and now what is the URL? What URL I should call? That is your base endpoint. In this case, localhost. So 127.0.0.1 is to 8000. This is where our server is running. Okay, /. Suppose if you want to go to whatever we configured right now, so first go to your projects URLs. Okay, and since this is Djoser is in accounts, so it should be API /auth. We just paste it over here and /Djoser. We have, they have two things which they do. They have two different functions linked automatically. So okay, so this is your URL, base URL of Djoser. Now what you do is here next you add users. Okay, this will help you in calling sign up route as they said here. Okay, user create, that is user create route. Here the default URL is your base URL, that is where the whole code of Djoser is placed. Okay, / this URL. Are you able to understand this? If you have any doubts, then put it over here. I'm just gonna check. Okay, what is REST framework? A REST framework is a library to explain in layman terms. Then it's a library which will help you in building APIs. Okay, it's a very powerful and flexible toolkit. I hope I made things clear till now. Okay, now we wrote we configured Djoser. Now there's one more thing left. I told you make migrations, migrate. There's a word named migrate which I used before. What is this? So migrate is nothing but in accounts in our app /models.py, we'll write a set of code to create a table. Now what Django does is, for you, okay, it will check if you execute whatever you did. I mean, first it will verify whatever you did is correct or not. Okay, if it is correct, if whatever you did is correct, okay, then it will verify. If I change this in the database, will my existing database affect? Will my existing database affect? Or else you can say, or yeah, let's put it like this: will my existing database affect or break? Break will also make sense. Okay, so I'm so sorry, there's some internet lag. I guess I'm fine. Am I visible now? I mean, oh sorry, I kept it in chat screens. I'm so sorry. Am I visible now? I mean, sorry, is my VS Code visible for you guys? If yes, reply in comments. And I would request you to know where it got disconnected, so that I just got to know it got disconnected. Can you just tell where it got disconnected, so I'll continue from that point. Can you guys tell where it got disconnected, please? Migrations. Okay, so what exactly is the migration? So migrations is basically when you, okay, this is your app. For us it is accounts, or else to-do list. Okay, to-do list. Okay, to-do list में models.py में you wrote a class, Python class, which will convert into one sec, there's some network lag again. Guys, can you hear me now? Is it fine now? Is it fine now? Guys, is it fine now? Someone reply in chat session. Okay, I guess it's fine now. Okay, let's move further. Sorry for the inconvenience. So okay, what happens? To-do list models.py, you create a model, okay, and it will create a table. But before doing this, it will you run a command named python manage.py make migrations. It will make migrations for you, and it will check whatever, is there any chance for your existing database affect or break. if it does, it will warn you. It will say you can't do this because this happens, and you literally need to change according to that. Okay, if it shows success, then you can type one more command. Okay, migrate. What this does is it will convert your it will convert your existing code. Okay, whatever you it is validated by make migrations command. Once it validates, it creates a file, it migrates that particular file to the database. So what happens is your database will change, and whatever changes you made will come into effect. Okay, now this is make migrations and migrate. So now since we made a Djoser authentication system, we're gonna check it. So for that, I'm gonna use Postman. Postman is visible on your screen. Now create a new collection. So to-do list cc. Okay, and now what you do is just go add request. First will be user create. Okay, and that's it. You create now it's a post request, and we already have URL. I explained you how to write your URLs, so I'm just gonna copy and paste it over here. Okay, and before this, I'm just gonna head on to my VS Code again. I need to run my server before doing anything. So for that, terminal. Okay, I'll just delete the empty terminals. Okay, now okay, this is fine. This has env activated. If it is activated, you can see it over here. Okay, so now you're gonna type python 3 manage.py migrate. I said you before, it will convert your existing make migrations file into a SQL table. It shows no module named Djoser. Obviously, you need to install Djoser first. pip3 install tjosc. That's it. And now run again. It shows completed successfully. Running all migrations, applying this file, and this is one more file which is rendered. They created two files. Djoser made two files for you. It migrated it, and it came into effect. Okay, and now all done. You need to run server. So run server. Okay, it shows your development server is started, and now I'm gonna shift to Postman. Okay, and now go to body. It's my form data. Okay, add username. Okay, username is whatever you want to give your username. You can give it over here. For suppose I'm just gonna give Kunal, or yeah, Kunal works, and password Kunal at the date of 123. Now send it. You get password is too similar to username. How does Django do that? There's something like auth validators in Django. Okay, it will do this job for you. Now it shows password is too similar to username. Now you need to change your password to a complex. So I'll just type cc123 at the rate of cc123 at the rate of 123. It shows email is nothing. You didn't send an email. You can send an email as well. Username is Kunal. ID of the username is 2. Okay, and now since there is a post request, I'm just gonna save this. Okay, and create a new request. This will be also post. The base URL for this will be common, and let's head on to Chrome once. So इसमें go to token endpoints. For making a token login, you need to, your URL is this /token/login. So okay, so here \token \login control s. So this will be token login. There's a extra \ over here. Okay, cool. Non-field errors. Okay, because obviously I didn't add username password. Let's do that. Username. So username will be Kunal. Okay, I can write this up. Password I'll just copy and paste it over here. This will be Kunal. Okay, let's type Kunal1, which doesn't exist. So let's see what is the error. Password. Okay, and that's it, done. Send. It shows unable to log in with provided credentials because I gave Kunal1 instead of Kunal, and now it generates a auth token for you. What it basically does is there's a table named token table. In that, okay, there's a field with one-to-one field. Okay, I'll explain you in some time. Wait, let me go to models, then I can explain you briefly. Now we are done with creating a login and sign up. Now let's make a to-do list. For that, I'm just gonna head on to VS Code. This is settings.py. Close this, all this. I'll minimize all this backend, everything. To-do list mein views I'll go. Okay, and before going to views, I will go to models. Okay, and in models, here this is the place where I write my code for creating a table. So first let's start creating let's start doing it. Class to do list model. This is my model name, that is table name. Okay, and I'm just gonna pass models.model. Okay, and I need to import one thing. Import UUID. Okay, and it will generate a random unique string. UUID generates a random unique string, so people can. Over here, if you see in Postman, your user ID is a integer. People can guess that, but if it is a UUID field, then people can't guess it because it's a random big string. Okay, and so models.uuid field, and so what you do is models.uuid field default FAULT, spelling is correct I guess, default equals to UUID dot UUID4. This is the default UUID thing we are using, and primary underscore key equals to true. Okay, that's it, done with this. Okay, now in our to-do list model, we are gonna make it 6. Okay, please. Okay, first there will be I'll explain in conceptualization. There is ID. Okay, so sorry. Yeah, this is your ID. Okay, we'll take user. Who is that user who is adding this list? Cool. And now we'll take time when he added it, modified. Do you want to do this? If you want, we can do this. For now, just leave it. I'll tell you what to do. Okay, time user task underscore heading comma task underscore detail, and finally completed. This will be a boolean. It will be true or false. Okay, this is our expected model. So now let's build it. So for that, I'm just gonna import user. For that, from Django.contrib.auth.models import user model. So Django creates a user authentication system for you, and it is a model. She's just gonna command click or control click. You can see this model. Let's not go to this right now because we are running out of time. So Django.contrib.auth.models import user. Fine. Now user equals to whoever it has created, so it will be, let's close this. It will be a foreign key. See, foreign key is a user can have so many keys, so it is, I mean, so many tasks, so it's a foreign key. And let's make this as tasks model instead of to-do list model. Let's be professional. And now you type user over here, and now if the user is deleted, what should this model, what should this model, I mean, what should this object go, where should it go? That we need to specify. On delete models dot cascade. What it does is, when this particular model is when that particular user is deleted, all his instances or all his tasks will be deleted. This is the right way, I guess. Okay, now heading, copy this, paste it over here. This will be models dot char field max underscore length. You need to give max length, that will be like 100. I guess 100 works. Task detail, this can be very big, so I'm gonna make it, define it, models dot text field. Text field helps you in making it infinite. It's very for all these long things, and this is completed. It's a boolean, so let's make it status. Status will look good. So models dot boolean field. Okay, you need to specify default. Default equals to false. Whenever the instance is created, it will make sure it is not true. So initially the task is not completed. When he completes the task, we'll do it. Okay, and fine. ID, user, task heading, task detail, status. That's it, done. We are done with the models. Okay, and now we need to verify whether this is correct or not. Okay, for that, just gonna go terminal. Okay, just go to existing terminals, stop the server, run, make migrations. As I said before, make migrations will check your code and it will give any errors. It shows nothing. Create model, task model. Okay, now if you see there's a file generated, that is 0001 initial.py, that is mentioned over here. And now just type migrate. This will come into effort, and now run server. I guess it's over here. Yeah, let's do this. So the model is created successfully. Okay, and now you can close this for a while and create a new file named serializer. So let's it is actually okay, yeah, serializer.py. And now what serializer does, as I said you before, Django ORM gives query dictionaries. Okay, and you need to convert into JSON or else whatever you want to make it. Okay, to do that we need to serialize the data. Okay, to convert query dictionaries to JSON as well as JSON to query dictionaries, or yeah, it will take care of everything. Okay, to do that we need a serializer. For that, first from REST framework, we installed REST framework, if you guys remember. Import serializers. Okay, and from dot models import whatever you model you made. Sorry, I'm so forgot the model name. It is to do API, I guess. No, task model. Okay, Now we are gonna type make a class task serializers dot model serializer. Okay, there are different types of serializers. Here we are using model serializer class. We need to make a meta class for this, and in meta class you need to specify a model, what model you want to serialize. I mean, it will check if, and this also does one more job. It will check if you got all the details, all the required details, and if the details are correct. For suppose in status, if you send a string instead of boolean, then it will pop error stating that you can't send a string in a boolean. Okay, it will pop error. So to do that, we need to specify. I mean, the serializer will does the job for you. So task model. Okay, and now fields. What all fields you need to send? You need to tell the serializer. Make sure the spelling is correct. I want to send all, so I'll just type underscore underscore all underscore underscore. That's it. You are done with serializers. You are done with models. All good. Let's go to views. Okay, views is the place where you write your business logic, as I said before. So now we need to import few things. Okay, for first we'll import all our models from dot models. Import, what is our model? Task model. Okay, and one second, I'm just gonna remove this line from task serializer. Once you do this, all done. Okay, from dot serializers import task serializer, from dot models import task models, and you need to import few REST framework stuff. So from REST framework dot parsers JSON, import JSON parser converting into JSON, and so from REST framework dot response import response for sending it. Okay, there's some typos, I'm so sorry. Response, and finally from C REST framework dot directly import permissions. Okay, now once you are done with this, you just make a class. Now class, first we'll make a class which handles get all the data from the user. Okay, which gets all the data from user and say, I mean, creating a task and getting all the tasks. Okay, then we'll make a model. We'll make a class for executing completion to list all the completed data. All this thing. Okay. Anyways, we'll think about that in some time. For now, we're just gonna make a class named task adder. Okay, and over here you need to specify API view. Oh shit, I forgot to import that. You need to import one more thing. API views is one base default class of generic views. Generic views helps us. I'll show you what API views does in some time. Views import API view, and now you specify API view. Okay. And now we need to verify if the user is authenticated. So what you do, permissions underscore classes equals to permissions dot is authenticated. So it will check if the user is authenticated, and parsers, it's parser classes, I guess, JSON parser. Okay, it will parse the data. Def get will handle the get request. So here you need to, there's a def get handler, get request handler. So self comma request. Okay, and for now just make it pass. We'll deal with that in some time. def post self comma request. Okay, now pass. Cool. And now, so we made a class which handles checks if the user is authenticated. Okay, and it will parse. Okay, and now first let's start. First we'll log the data. So for that object, we go to serializer, right? Object is in task serializer. I'm just gonna pass whatever data we got. That is data equals to request.data. That's it. Request.data gives us the data whatever we passed. Okay, and if object dot is valid. Okay, object is if object is valid, then it's a boolean. Object dot is valid is a boolean. So if it is valid, then object should be saved. So object dot save. Okay, and now you need to return the response. So return response. I'll return it as a dictionary. So your status added. Okay, and now there's something like status codes. Status codes helps us in checking whatever we made is correct, or whatever if the response of the if the response is correct, or if there is there any error in the backend whenever you're doing that. Okay, now do you guys think it will work? It won't. Okay, so in models there's something like user as a foreign key. You need to give user ID. So for that you just type request.data. You're gonna add a field named user. Okay, and you're gonna mention request.user. Okay, request.user.id. Sorry, request.user. Since it is authenticated, you will be able to get the user more. You'll be able to know who is the user who is trying to execute this request. And once you get the this thing, yeah, once you know who is executing it, you can get the ID. You need to add the ID into the request data whatever you are getting. Okay, once you do that, I'm just gonna print request data over here. Request.data. Okay, and I'm just gonna print right after this also once. Okay, and so you'll be able to see that. Fine. Now post request is done. Now get request. So first user equals to let's make directly object equals to your model, that is task model dot objects. Okay, it has objects, so objects dot filter. Okay, that user should be user, that is whatever you are mentioning it over here. This is the thing. If it is user1, then you need to use user1. Make sure you don't have any typos over here. Request dot user dot id. Okay, and once you get this, you need to serialize it to send it. So serializer equals to task serializer. Okay, of whatever data is, that is object. These are objects or query dictionaries. So query dictionaries comma many equals to true. Since you have so many tasks, you need to write many equals to true. Okay, I would prefer writing it all the time, or else it will pop error sometimes. Return big response. Okay, of serializer dot data comma status equals to 200. Okay, if it is the abbreviation. Okay, this is a usual error, note that, but it still works. Status, one second, I'll just check the terminal. Okay, for 200 it is known as OK status code. 201 it is created status code. I'll show you that also in some time. So let's use this things. Okay, now yeah, your server is running. I'll just restart server. Okay, and now your server is running. Now you just specify the URL from .urls, sorry, from .views, from import views better, from in a sense the whole folder, import views file. इसमें path and what we'll call create /view. So we are handling create and view. So create comma view comma this will be, you need to specify which function is it linked to. So views dot task adder, this is our class name dot as view, and that's it, you're done. And so once you do this, you're done with configuring it. So let's test our API. For that, I'm just heading to Postman, create a new request. Okay, and this will be a post request. Okay, this will be I'll just go to my VS Code and check what is the URL exactly specified in backends. I mean project me. So okay, here it is API /to do. Okay, I'm just gonna copy that, paste it over here in Postman. Okay, and now whatever URL we wrote is create /view. So I'm just gonna copy that and paste it over here, and so it's basically API /to do /create /view, and this is a post request, and in body we need to write some stuff. So for that, let's go to our models once. In models where is model? Yeah, here. So there's something like task underscore heading. So I'm just gonna copy this and paste it in Postman, and there's something like task detail and status. Okay, now I'm just going to show you Postman. Now can you see task heading, task detail, and this is wake up. Okay, and this will be blah, I don't know what to write. Right, now this will be false. Cool. And now I'm just gonna make this add task. Cool. And you call this, it shows authentication credentials not provided. I said I added is authenticated, right? It handles authentication, so just type authorization. Okay, and since we are using token authentication, token space, you wrote token, that is this. Copy this, paste it over here, send. Unsupported media. Okay, since we used a JSON, I forgot to make it in raw. I'm so sorry, one sec. I'm just gonna write again. In fact, I can use this. Task underscore. Since we sent a JSON data, you are not supposed to send a form data. Instead, you need to send a raw data. So I forgot. So task detail. I use single quotes instead of double quotes. I'm just changing it to double quotes. Cool. Task heading wake up blah khatam. And now go to form data, remove all this stuff. Okay, and now that's it. Status added and status code 201 and the abbreviation is created. Cool. And this is one of your add task. Now let's see view task. So the URL will be same. Copy this, paste it over here, and in in headers add authorization. Okay, that will be, I'm just gonna copy it from add task. Cool, paste it, send. You got one more. Now I'm gonna add one more so that I can show you how it is storing it. So wake up path blah, and that's it. It shows added, and if you send a request you got one more. All good. So get tasks, and there should be delete task and update task that is completed, status changing and delete. So let's do that and finally we'll deploy it. Cool. So let's head on to VS Code. Let's complete this job. For now I'm just gonna delete close this. So cool. Now class, our class name will be task modifier. I know I suck in giving names, but anyways, API view def get. If it calls a get request, then delete. Okay, self comma request. Cool. And for now let's pass it. Cool. Def post. If it is a post request, we'll update it. Self comma request. Cool. And this will be pass for now. Okay, now we're just gonna copy these two lines, permissions and classes, paste it over here. Now first we'll complete the update and then we'll move on to delete. There is a high chance of front-end developer or app developer not front-end or app developer to not send the data, so we'll do some error handling. So for that, data may, you need status. First you need ID. You will get it as request dot data of ID. So let's not put, okay, wait, data is not required. I'm just gonna directly do it. So since we have only one field, object equals to, first you need to get that object. So task model dot objects dot filter. Okay, ID equals to request dot data of ID. Okay, since ID is unique, you'll be having only one, so no problem in this. Make sure you always filter it with your primary key. Primary key is unique in the whole table. Okay, so object you got. Now just type object dot update. Okay, status, you need to give the field name whatever you specified in models. That is, over here we use status, so status equals to whatever status he gives. It may be false to true or true to false. So request the data of status. Cool. And now once you do this, return response of status. Status equals, wait, don't get confused, this is status code, so I'll be sending 202. Okay, and this is basically status code. And if you have any errors, that is exception handler, if you have any errors, then return response of status code 404 is object not found. Okay, the only possible error in this whole field is, okay, whether ID or else status is not sent. So what we do is we try to find these. If it is not there, then give status code 404. By seeing the status code, he'll know what is the error. Got it? So once you do this, let's complete the get request and test it. So again, we will put it in a try except. Okay, and if it is accepted, then you just copy paste this line. Delete is almost similar to this thing, so I'm just gonna copy all these lines, paste it over here. Okay, so what you did is you filtered, and instead of update, okay, just type delete. That's it. Object.delete, and status code I'll change 203. Cool. Object you filtered, you got it with ID and you deleted it, and if there's no ID, then it will respond 404. It will send status code 404, and you're done with this. Now you need to configure it. So come on, I'm just gonna create view, update view. Okay, and this will be task modifier. This is our model name. So sorry, this is our class name. So I mentioned that, and that's it. Just gonna check server is running. So yeah, server is running. So I'm just gonna go to testing. Yes. Okay. Let's first update one thing and let's delete one. So it will be post. Copy this. Instead of create, you need to modify it to update. Cool. And this will be update task list, task object. Cool. And your body may draw again, since we have a parser, and convert this from text to JSON. I can't zoom this because it doesn't allow me to. I tried. So first you need to send ID. Okay, and we'll add ID in some time. For now, status. Okay, status will be true for now. And now go to get task. You have this ID, right? Wake up ka ID, copy this, paste it over here, paste again. Cool. And good, all good. Now send. It shows authentication details not sent. So again, authentication authorization equals to token. I'll just copy this from get task. Cool. Is it headers token? Once you send this, it shows object not found. Let's see what is the error. Okay. So hands on main. For now, let's remove post. For now, let's put it outside. Okay. Let's remove error handling, so we'll know exact error what we are getting. So based on that, we can sort it. Did we send a parser? Yeah, we did. So I'm just going to head on to testing, and you'll get a big error. Task model is not defined. Okay, there's a typo. It's tasks model. Okay, this is task model. Cool. Now it worked. Now let's head on to VS Code. In testing only. Now this is what let's send a request. It shows do not to accepted. I added error handling. If you want, I'll just show you once. Yeah, you can see error handling. So let's go on to this thing. Update is done. Now I can duplicate this request. There's almost everything is almost seen. Okay, and one more thing. Now in this get, okay, I few back. I'm just gonna make it a bit different. because there's a problem for app developers and front-end developers to send a data body in this thing. So we use .get. I'll explain you what is .get. Okay, I guess it will pop error. Let's see, not sure with this single braces or double braces, sorry, rounded or square. So I'll go to Postman again. Now I'll just create a new request, same URL, copy, paste, headers, authorization, I'll copy authorization credentials, okay, and paste it. And now you need to send ID. So for that, go to params, type ID, okay, and it basically appends to this URL. That's fine. Cool. It shows not found. Okay, I guess one sec. I know what is going wrong over here. Request.get. How do I send it? Okay, fine. I'll do one thing. Better way. I'll send it in URL. So I'm just gonna copy this part, create a new class, and name it going wrong. Why is this color like? Okay. Now I'm just gonna delete it over here. Okay. Instead of request.get, I'll use pk. What is pk? Primary key. Okay, and I'm gonna request it over here. Okay, now once you request it over here, you need to send it in URL already defined. So modifier delete. Cool. delete. Sorry, my typo set to that. Cool. Delete. Work. Now you need to configure it. So copy, paste, change this, delete, and now you need to add one more thing, str pk. Cool. Add a backslash. Cool. And now I'm just gonna head on to Postman now. Now instead of update, I'll put delete, and I'm just gonna remove all these things. I'll just directly add the ID to URL. Tata. Okay, this is the best way. And it shows again not found. Let's see what exactly happened. We'll remove error handling this time. One sec, I'm just gonna remove and come back. Cool. I removed error handling. Let's send. Okay, tasks. Okay, again I can typo. Cool. Now it shows 203. Okay, anyways, forget the abbreviation, but status is 203, which we set in VS Code. So if you want, I'll just show you in VS Code. Cool. Status is 203. We are done with that. Okay, now everything all done. Just save this, delete task, update task is done, delete task is done, everything is done. Okay, and now you're done with doing the documentation. Yeah, what I'm saying is correct. Just sorry, I'm just gonna show you again. Go here, click on publish docs. Okay, once you do that, cool, is loading. just click on publish collection and it gives you a URL, and this URL may you'll get everything. Okay, that's it. That's it, you are done with everything, and now we'll just push it to GitHub. So for that, we'll head on to VS Code once. Okay, open terminal, new terminal. Okay, this time we need it as a new terminal, and now we are gonna deploy it on Heroku. For that, just okay, I don't think we have enough time, but fine, let's do it. For that you need this thing, library named Heroku Django. So to install that, I'm just gonna type pip3 install Django _ Heroku. Okay, it shows requirement already set. Oh shit, I installed it outside env. I'm just gonna go stop the server and install pip3 install Django _ Heroku. Cool. And once you're done, okay, now you need to install one more thing named Gunicon. We will install that also. It's taking time. Yeah, fine. After this, Gunicon. Cool. And once you're done with this, now you need to create a file over here. Okay, name it proc file. It should be in the base directory. Cool. Near manage.py. And now here type web : Gunicon. Okay, space. Your project name. Mine is backend, so I'm just gonna type backend. Okay, and sorry, .wsgi. Cool. Web : Gunicon backend.wsgi. And once you do this, now you go to settings, import Django _ Heroku. Cool. And now just type at the last line of your code. Okay, just type Django _ Heroku dot settings of locals. Cool, that's it. What if I say you're almost done with deploying? Now just go to your terminal. Okay, before that I'll just clear the screen, so control press. Okay, now type pip3 freeze. Okay, requirements.txt. so remember the spelling should be correct or else you'll get an error. requirements.txt. requirements. Yeah, it creates a file over here named requirements.txt. I'm just gonna open that and show you. So it has all the requirements what we need for this thing. So control minus, let's go to terminal again. So just type git init. If your git is successful, git is configured, git add, git commit, initial commit, git push. This is my username and password, and that's it. Once you're done with this, then head on to your this thing, Chrome, go to dashboard.heroku.com. okay, click on create new app. Okay, create a new app. Once you click on that, your app name, to do list CC. To-do list CodeChef. So region will be United States. Click on create app. Once you do this, okay, click on connect with GitHub and your repo name. For me, not sure my repo name. Let me check. To-do list API. So to-do list. So search to-do list API, connect. Okay, it takes like 2 seconds to 3 seconds, and once you're done with this, click on deploy branch. Okay, there's some typoids, no search file. Okay, nothing. And remember, now install Heroku CLI onto your PC. It's easy, just go and get an installer download installer and install it. Once you do that, okay, it shows deployed to Heroku. We have the URL ready here. Okay, now I'm just going to go to my VS Code again. Okay, increase screen size. Okay, oh, too big. Okay, clear, cool. Heroku run bash. Okay, -a your app name. In our case, it is to-do list CC. Let's not have any typo, so I'm just gonna copy and paste it over here. Kata, enter. Heroku update available. Fine. Now, since we migrated on local environment, we need to migrate it in the same way. So just type python manage.py migrate. And Katam, you are done. So to test, I'm just gonna run one of my this thing. So for that, delete task is okay, and so I'll just go to this thing, get the go up, open app, get the URL, copy, okay, and go to this Postman, create users, okay, remove 127, all these things before that, paste it, send. Let's see what happens. It created, that's it. ID is 1, you created a user, khatam. Cool. And if you want, after you update docs, go on, click on publish docs, and it will automatically get updated. Cool. And that's it. Okay, thanks for attending the webinar. If you have any doubts, put it in comments. I'll wait for like few minutes and I'll solve all your comments. Cool. How do I pause this and test API? So as I showed you before, I hosted it on Heroku. Okay. Now instead of 127 that is your local this thing, remove a local host wall address. You remove that address, and 8000 is your code. Or remove all the thing and just paste your this thing, your URL. Okay. And for your whole code is deployed. I mean, all the code is pushed to GitHub. One sec, I'm just gonna share you the link. Okay, this is the link of GitHub and documentation. So this is the link of documentation. Thanks for attending webinar. If you have any doubts, put it on comment section, and this is my email. If you have any doubts, or if you come up with any error, if you get some errors, just you can mail it to me. I'll be active. I'll reply as soon as possible. Yeah, if you don't have any doubts, we're gonna end the session in 2 minutes. And one more thing, within 3 to 4 days, we'll be having a next webinar on linking this API with a website. Stay tuned. Follow our Instagram handles and Facebook handles, and make sure you subscribe to us for good content. Fine. We're